Hi Sagittarius, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2014. And it looks like you're going to be aware of your worldly responsibilities, how reliable you are, how firm you are in the eyes of others, maybe how competent perhaps. You're going to be more aware of standing, but also you'll probably be putting yourself out a little bit more in September. And having said that, though, you have just begun a really new expansive phase in your life, because your ruling planet has come into a very strong house in your solar chart. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of putting you on really quite a learning curve. But it's going to be a time for growth overall in the next few months, well, the next several months. That's until next August. So just for September, this is the same for all the signs. At the very beginning of September, the very end of August, the very beginning of September, maybe the first two days, there's some Neptune around, and also there's some Saturn around, which is quite limiting and maybe a little bit frustrating. So you might feel as though you've got quite a bit on your plate, or your energies could just be dipping. You know, you could have picked up a little bug or something, a cold or something. There can be lots of reasons for it. It's very fleeting, but it's worth a mention because it's also, there's a lot of ambiguities around as well. There's a lot of uncertainties, and that's because of the dose of Neptune there. Neptune can make us feel confused and uncertain, particularly when we need clarity, particularly in the material world. So you need to push through this with a certain amount of determination, but also, I suppose, with a little bit of sensitivity, a little bit of faith. And of course, you know about having faith, Sagittarius, because you're good at that. And you're very good at boosting the morals of others who are faltering, you know, and who've lost their faith. So now here is an opportunity, a brief one, for you to practice what you preach. And you don't let these ambiguities, these uncertainties cause you to stress or to delude yourself about this or that or the other thing or person or place or whatever it is. Until the 6th, Venus is supporting relationships with those from far away, as she has been over much of August. Maybe financial things to do with those at a distance, or things to do with possessions, property. But it can mean something else. It can mean like traveling with a partner, for example, or having a joint interest in something which is maybe foreign or to do with travel, or indeed it's just a very unfamiliar territory that you're both interested in together, or maybe you get a really good, you bond really well with a teacher, somebody who can teach you something, or who is formerly a teacher, guru, whatever. And you receive these teachings in an environment which is supportive and feels secure and feels friendly and warm. And turn that around, you are seen as the teacher who is giving these firm and sage and serene, of course, advice. Well, of course, the word sage is connected to your sign, being a Sagittarius, isn't it? But you kind of got to earn it by making lots of mistakes. But that's how we learn, hey? Now, until the 23rd, the sun is at the top of your chart. That's why I was speaking about you taking your responsibilities more seriously, you being more aware of these responsibilities, but also of certain goals you want to achieve that you're kind of aiming for. Every centaur needs a target. The archer, the centaur, Sagittarius, you need a target. A Saggy without a target just needs to get one as quickly as possible, and looking far. You know, you are the far seer of the zodiac, so looking into the far distance at this target as well, taking the long view maybe, but looking at being more aware of your overall direction, with the sun at the top of your chart, maybe feeling more aware of rules imposed upon you by those in power. Bureaucracy, red tape, officials, that kind of thing. Maybe feeling that a little bit more at this time. Anybody who's being parental towards you, obviously a parent, but anybody who's being parental towards you, or anybody indeed that you need to be parental towards yourself, and set a good example, you see. And then from the 6th, Venus is helping to create more favorable circumstances with those authority figures. So actually, the Venus coming into the area of the Sun with those in positions in of power in the world to help you means that you can hit it off with them a lot more easily. That they see you in a better light. These people, these officials, these types of people, and that might be important for you to know. So there could be an ally there for you, and somebody who is perhaps socially above you, or maybe not, but it's just that their job and what they do could help. They give you a helping hand. Also, somebody could see you as being above them, in a position to help them, and you give them a helping hand. Don't expect to come to any clear-cut decisions or evaluations, though, about what sort of like the final accounting on what somebody or something means to you until the second half of September, I would say. And also, there could be some jitters in the second week, especially around the 11th and the 12th, because we've got Uranus and Pluto coming in there, which kind of are game changers. So you could be feeling a bit surprised, but also it's making you think more deeply, more sensitively. You could be a bit preoccupied, but try to make the space, try to keep neutral, or not be totally sold on an idea or somebody else's opinion or idea, because that's a possibility there. You might feel there's coercion, you might feel there's a power struggle, or others might feel there's coercion or a power struggle. So there might be a little bit of that going on there. Again, a relatively fleeting moment, but worth a mention. Wait till the second half of the month to get things in proportion, because that's when the dust will settle and you'll be able to sort of, from a balanced position, be able to sort of sort it all out and get it all straightened out within yourself, really. Mercury, for most of the month, is going to be in an area which is very progressive. It's an area to sort of chew the fat with friends, to connect with others over the net. If you're doing any work over the internet, this could be quite a busy time. Others could find you being articulate. Others could see you as a useful go-between person. You feel like experimenting and exploring different avenues of expression or concepts. And others could also surprise you with what they have to say about things, what their take is on things, and vice versa. And then until the 23rd, the sun, from the 23rd, the sun, when the sun moves, it moves into this area that Mercury's in, where it will be lighting up and putting more to the center stage, not what you know, but who you know. Also friends, old ones, but also new ones, contacts, involvements within a community or a group of kindred spirits, and any of that. But it tends to be very sort of future orientated. The whole month Mercury's there, and then from the 23rd the Sun goes in there, and Mercury and the Sun will be together for about a short week, but that time there is going to be have a really sort of progressive vibe with it. And that'll be the whole of the month, I think, especially with the Sun really bringing in the power there from the 23rd. Mars has been and will be in quite an inward area where you've just got to be there for others more. This area of the chart is the sign before yours, Scorpio. I see that particular area as a sort of chrysalis. So a lot of things can grow quietly behind the scenes, like the beautiful butterfly, you know, tucked away in the bushes under the leaf, just slowly, quietly, that beating heart of beauty and grace, just evolving and manifesting into this physical reality, but it won't be ready to be born and fly until from the middle of the month onwards, and that's when Mars comes into your sign. And in this very background area is also where Saturn is, and Saturn's been there since October 2012. So this presence of Mars here will speed things up, to do with the past, to do with tying up loose ends from the past, to do with inner work, beavering away at things in the background, unseen, unacknowledged, unrecognized, unthanked, and others not really having much of a clue at how much you are really doing in this little background area, or the strings that you're pulling and what you're trying to create from this at one remove, you know, from the front of the house, you know, from the wings, from backstage. Yes, this is very much a time to sort of confront bad behaviors from your past as well. And you Sagittarians born the end of the second and the beginning of the last 10 days, the second 10 days and the last 10 days of the sign, always 17 to 22 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most during the forecast period. Mars is very much going to put you in a position where you've got to make decisions here. You've got to bite the bullet, make decisions and get it done, whatever it's about. From mid-month, Mars then comes into your sign. It's going to speed up your world, accelerate things, more hustle and bustle around you, time to take action, time to get the ball rolling. And if you're not in the mood and the ball's already rolling, then get out of the way. And also try and keep up with the ball that's rolling. You could just get plunged into situations which put demand on you to be decisive, assertive, initiate, step up to the plate, you know, all of that kind of thing. And just make sure that you try to balance things and engineer downtime for yourself. Don't stretch yourself too thin. Don't pull too hard on your physical reserves. Mars doesn't like hanging around, and so you should not procrastinate once you've made up your mind about what you're going to do. Maybe sleep on it first, but then just go forwards, push forwards, and watch your step as you go forwards, because with Mars in your sign, you know, we can trip over our own shoelaces and have an accident. So just, you know, in your enthusiasm to make progress, just be careful there. And of course, I've already mentioned Jupiter. Until next August, Jupiter means that there's going to be this growth in your life through travel, foreign connections, education, higher education, publications of various kinds, but also just environments that are not your usual environments, people that aren't your usual people, information which is new, which you didn't have a clue about before, and getting involved in things which are, again, going to teach you a heck of a lot. It's in an expansive area for you, and new landscapes, new territories will be carved into your mind. And you Sagittarians born in the second 10 days or with 9 to 16 degrees rising are going to feel this energy the most. Just a quick mention of Neptune for you very early Saggies born in the first 10 days or with 4 to 7 degrees Sagittarius rising. It just is that you must be careful not to make yourself a martyr when it comes to family members or anything to do with property matters. But also there could be some sacrifice there to do with family members or property matters or place on the map or community. That could necessary, you know, in this life sometimes we have to weigh it up, what price we have to pay for something better to come along, you know. So there could be that feeling there, and that's Neptune at the root of your chart. So separate the needy from the greedy, you know. Don't tolerate a situation that is obviously demanding, you know, just trampling all over your boundaries, but compassion will be needed. And that's it for September. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those and sort of add that in, or take it to sort of subtract or add from what I've said here, and I'll see you the next time.